On YouTube, there was this channel which just decided to educate everyone about everything. So they just brought random people. It looks like a bit of random people just talking about everything. How to fix your car, how to interview people.
It's sort of useful stuff they never taught you in school. So.
Yeah, basically, she said get to know the material.
אתה יכול להתקרב קצת? מה אני זה? מה אני אעשה?
After a few minutes, he's like,
תקרב עוד.
just wing it, you know. Just like if the conversation goes, just flow with it and la la la. That's all we do. Well, Alex, I met you 2 days ago.
Indeed.
But I actually know you a lot longer. I was a user of your free frame plugins.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, back in the days.
Oh, they're still going, they're still selling.
It's amazing. Free frame is still going, huh?
Yeah.
How did it came like this free frame thing?
It was, I was VJing I started VJing about 2000. And this was before graphics cards. This was,
Analog.
non-accelerated. No, it was digital, but it was non-accelerated digital.
What platform did you use?
It was Windows, and I was using a program called Visual Jockey, which is.
I know the guy.
Yeah, Joshua.
Joshua.
And so it was all really low resolution by today's standards. It was like 320, 240 video, and I really liked the real time nature of it. So the idea that I could write a visual effect that day, and then go to a club and perform with it that night. Was just amazing to me.
And you say you wrote like you knew programming already.
I've been programming since like 8 years old. It's like 35 years ago. It's a long time.
And you were doing visual stuff, or was it
Always,
like? So basically, Visual Jockey just gave you some platform to work on. It was like some way to have your plugins.
Yeah, I like the modular design. I like the way that you could build up your own sort of ideas I just found it. I mean, I've been outside in the sort of wilderness in a way for many years because I've been doing web stuff and I've been doing. I didn't want to do all that. I sort of studied art and computer science, but it was a bit too out there for most people, and so they were like, "Well, you're good at programming, so get a job."
So in '95 you started doing like web programming?
Yeah, web programming and so PHP and Perl.
And what was it like? Visual Jockey and the guys were the first thing that you saw, like this is real live video, we can do it?
It was the real time nature that I really enjoyed. It was the taking all this sort of digital stuff and putting it into a different environment. So it was like to go to clubs and actually do real time performance, but with code. It was and all this crazy bunch of guys, guys and girls, that were doing this stuff and were really at the time driving forward what could be done. Digitally, real time performance. It was a really exciting time then. The people were just coming up with some crazy ideas, and both aesthetically and technologically, and the idea of this sort of crossover with other cultures outside of just the digital world.
But in that time, when I still see VJs, you were basically working for the DJ in a way, or you were like in some subcategories.
Well, this is why I don't do VJing anymore, because it's. I mean, myself and many other VJs. I mean, you have no idea unless you've actually sort of done it how much work these guys and girls put into it.
Because basically everyone builds his own set.
Oh, it's crazy.
Like a DJ, you can just come with your crate. You have the decks everywhere.
These people are sort of they're out there. They're making these whole sets, and then they go out and perform them, and they don't get the credit that they deserve. And I always think that. I always think it's quite sad because the amount of effort and creativity that it takes to do all this,
Yeah.
So I felt like that. I was doing lots of clubs, and I was doing, and I'd be up, doing 4-hour, 6-hour sets, and people only watch it for the first hour, and then they're more interested in girls, guys. It's fair enough, So I thought, well, what if you took it outside of the club, and what if you took it into a public realm? If you took it into art galleries, if you took it into, and use all those skills and all those ways of doing stuff, but people actually come to see the work.
So when you move from a club to a gallery, what changes basically?
Well, I went from a club to outdoors. So I did public art outside, and I used the projector to project on statues and buildings and
That's like the infant times of projection mapping, basically.
yeah. This is like 2007 or so. I started video mapping, and it was just fascinating to get away from the screen. It was fascinating to sort of put it into a different context, and people would actually come and actually look at the stuff I was doing, which is and then you'd have discussions about the work, and it's really transformative to project light onto objects, to control it in real time.
Well, what's like why real time? Why not have it baked?
That particular aspect really interests me because it's the one thing that sets it apart from video art. It's the one thing that sets it apart from any pre-recorded or pre-made art or media, is the real-time control over it. Is that's inherently digital, is inherently sort of I like that conversation, I like making interactive artwork, so it's the conversation between the artist and the person who's viewing the artwork, and I can feed back and you can feed in.
So basically, you took your deck, like your set from the club, into an art scene, into
elements of it. It wasn't obviously it's not the same, because then I'm sort of cutting it to music, and I'm sort of there's lots of flashy stuff, and I tend to go far slower, and so it's because it slows people down, and you spend time looking at your environment and experiencing it in a new way.
And you were still in 2007. What platform were you using? Like what?
Always my own. It was. I realised that I needed to write my own software for doing video mapping and all these things. So I spent 3 years writing this piece of software called Patchbox, which was very, very, very powerful in terms of what you could do visually, and very, very badly designed in terms of a user interface.
Because you were basically the user.
I was the one. I've never released it, and it's I can't ever release it because it's all out of date now. But it's the interface is so bad that only I know how to use it, and I'd have to spend another 3 years writing the manual.
I hear it
There's a lot better software out there now.
I hear it with the open source that basically you write software and you're passionate about open source, but you basically don't always want users. You like dealing with this user issue is always like a hassle.
It's the problem is you start writing a piece of software and you go, oh, that would be cool, and that idea, that would be cool. So you stick that in, and you stick that in, and every idea that you add in exponentially increases the way that this thing could be used. And like something like the software I'm writing now, this Fujia stuff, is exponential. Sort of. So to then take that and whittle it down to the point where I can actually tell you simply and straightforwardly how to use the software is such a challenge, and it's.
Can you do a break? Can we do a break?
Yeah.
A second?